9:30 in the morning. My hour-long trip to Brickworld Chicago starts now. Welcome to the first video on my Lego channel. Guys, this is my official inauguration, I guess, to the Lego community. Or to the Lego YouTube community, that is. And what better way to start off this channel than to show you guys my experience with Brickworld Chicago 2025. It has always been a dream of mine to go here, and I've always lived an hour away from it, yet I never found the time to go until this year, and this is my first time going there, and I want to document how it was for me. This may be different compared to the other Brickworld videos you see. I'm just going to be doing a voiceover this whole time for it, giving you my thoughts on some of the stuff I saw, and then at the end, I'm just gonna leave it off at that. You guys will eventually see the type of content I will be posting on this channel throughout the rest of this summer and for many years to come, hopefully. But without further ado, let's get into my Brickworld 2025 experience. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's that white building right there. It's like dead center of the screen. That's it. That's where we're going. That's our stop, boys. We are almost there. One more light away. Finding parking here was a nightmare because they have some construction going on right now, and I mean that parking lot over there is all for here for Brickworld. So I found a spot, nice spot, a little bit away, but you know what, that's the price you gotta pay for coming here, I guess. But I'll see you guys at the entrance. So where the convention is always being held is this hotel next to the highway. I've always driven past it, but I've never saw the other side until now, and the walk there was pretty nice as well. There was a bunch of people there, as you heard me complain about traffic. And the line of people to get in was crazy. It's an hour drive from me, so I left my house around like 9:30-ish, around that time. I mean, you saw at the beginning of the video. And I was like, you know what, by the time I get there, it's gonna be 30 minutes past, everybody should be in, lines should be cleared. Nope, I was completely wrong, and I underestimated how many people also decided to go in at 10:30. But this is the scene when you actually do get in, and I was just baffled. All the old retired sets I saw was amazing. It brought me back to my childhood. Some of those sets I never got to see in person, so that's why it was a pretty big deal to me. And I was surprised all the vendors were in the front instead of the back. I'd figured they put all the mocks up front. Ice Planet 2002 mock there. And then I saw this Ninjago Monastery. I am a huge fan of Ninjago. I've been a fan of it since 2011 when the theme first started. So seeing the monastery there was a pretty big deal to me. I loved seeing that. Yeah, and then over here, somebody ended up bringing their whole city, which was crazy to see. It still blows my mind that I got to see some of this stuff in person, and these building techniques are crazy. And of course, I always thought about going to Brickworld Chicago as well with a mock of my own. Still something I plan on doing, but I see now in person that it is going to take a lot of work. This is another city here with a small town and like a small farm area. And then over here is the Star Wars mock, first of many. It's an Imperial mock. I didn't notice at the time, but now I see the Imperial logos around it. It's really nice. And this over here, I should put the actual audio in there. It took me a while to realize what this was because I was just looking at it. I'm like, this looks very familiar. And then I'm like, oh my, wait, that's Tilted Towers from Fortnite. Oh, it's Tilted Towers. It took me an absurdly long time to realize what that was. And another more Ice Planet stuff, which I do actually like Ice Planet as well. I think it is my personal favorite of the space sub-themes. Over here, it's the Bionicle table, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not the biggest fan of Bionicle. I did try to get into it, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and it's just not the Lego theme for me. Over here, it's a Speed Champions garage. I thought it was really cool because I am a big fan of the Speed Champions cars. Over here, it's like a classic fire station, but they made it more detailed. I don't know how to describe it, but it was really nice. And then over here, we have an Olympics mock, which actually it was my favorite mock, specifically for one reason. Right there, my home country's flag, Bosnia and Herzegovina. That's my home country, represent. And wow, for the longest time here, it was my favorite mock simply because of the flag. was already talking to the guy about it as well, because I was wondering if that was the original Eiffel Tower and not the remake one they did. And turns out it was the original one. He did have it. He just modified the base plate a lot. So good on him. Over here is our first of many castle mocks, and this one was just massive. Like 3 tables length, I'm pretty sure it was. And then we have a few colorful mocks here. And this one was actually my favorite mock that I saw, because I just loved the pirate ships there, and the blue for the sea looked amazing. Like, it is crazy how they pulled that off. Just a lot of nice little mocks here, and it was crazy to me. I thought people would have only brought would have taken the effort to only make really big mocks here, but there was a lot of smaller stuff there that I was actually really happy to see, because it's not like you can only bring big mocks here. Like, you can bring whatever you make, and that was really cool to me. And this over here is probably my favorite mock, right? I mean, it's Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark. You have the map room there, you have all those TPs set up, you have the motor function with the plane, and the Well of Souls is over there. I don't know if I did end up recording that. And then you also had some smaller scenes of the movie over there. But this mock was just amazing, and the 2 people who made it were dressed up like Indiana Jones and Marion, which was a really nice touch again. Yeah, I didn't get the Well of Souls part, but I was able to get an angle of some of this stuff right over here. They built some other scenes over here, like the Cairo escape. There's a nice zoom mock here. Again, really nice, really creative stuff here. And then over here is one of my favorite tables. You have a fully chrome Magnum from Halo Combat Evolved, which was crazy to me. You also have the battle rifle and the assault rifle, as well, a few more trinkets. I mean, it's just amazing. That chrome Magnum is still just blowing my mind. I don't know how he found all those chrome pieces to build that. Those are extremely hard to find. I'm pretty sure I only have like 3 chrome pieces in my whole collection. There's a few Game Boys there, Cap 40 from BO2, and the ray gun as well, which caught my eye. And then the car SMG, it's supposed to be from Titanfall, but I know it more from Apex Legends, so do with that what you will. And then this one confused me for a bit. They just recreated some scenes from the movie Alien with the baby minifigure, which... it's a bit dark, but you know what? I do respect it, because it did confuse me for a bit. I'm like, what's going on here? Nice little garden build there someone built. The Avengers compound there, and this build absolutely stunned me. Like, do you understand how many bricks went into making just the base of the model? I mean, I get that's what he's showing off there, like the rock textures on the side of it, but man, that... I don't think I could bring myself to do that. And then over here we have what I think should have won. I don't know if it did won. I didn't see the results, because it is like 6 days after I went that I'm finally getting around to recording the audio for this. But this is, I mean, it's Tower of War Think, you know what I mean? It was tall, it's massive. And then he ended up building some of the outer wall as well around it, and I just couldn't believe it. So, a huge Lord of the Rings fan as well. I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched that trilogy. And it's another castle mock here. I know when I say, oh, it's another castle mock, it sounds like it's something bad, but it's not. But a lot of people do castle mocks, and I just don't see myself topping what these people can do. I really don't. And it is nice what he did with the water texture as well. I thought they were tiles, but no, they're actually bricks. They're 1x2 trans blue bricks. This was the first gunship I saw, and I'm almost certain it wasn't the last. It's just a separatist base there. Pretty cool build. I went over here not knowing it was the like food court. It's like a small cafeteria there. And then some more Bionicle stuff. Again, not the biggest fan of Bionicle, but I do still appreciate what they did. Those figures are very detailed. And then over here, I did find a Smash Brothers mock, but one thing I was specifically looking for was some Metal Gear Solid related. To be fair, I did find something Metal Gear Solid related. Right there, Solid Snake. And I was so happy to see that. I'm like, I did it. I even told the guy, I was like, I found what I was looking for. And then he's like, like Metal Gear Solid thing, Solid Snake. And then he pulls out a Foxhound dog tag, which absolutely blew my mind. I was like, can I record that, man? Because I just played the Metal Gear Solid games on my main channel, and wow, I was amazed, man. I was like, dude, that is sick. Now I kind of want to get a tag like that as well. It was a Foxhound tag, and it's so cool, and I couldn't believe it. That's probably the best thing that happened to me here. Yeah, and then somebody brought the Marvel modulars here and put them together. I thought it was pretty cool, and then they just built some roads around it. It's cool like that. Here's the Star Wars mock here. which honestly, for how simple some of the building techniques are, it did turn out pretty good. And then over here, some modified Lego sets as well, like that 2019 Slave One, which after seeing that, I might have to modify mine as well because that's so nice. I could hold 3 people in the cockpit. Then over here is a Fallout mock. And oh my goodness, I mean, this is just so elaborate. I'm sure you've seen this one on Beyond the Brick, and it is, I mean, just my goodness, it was massive. There's so many nice details in there, like the 2 mushroom clouds or the thunderballs, as they're called. And then also you have the actual Fallout Vol game in there, and that was a nice touch. And then over here I saw Bowser's Castle, which was really cool. And then I stopped recording here because I saw the Beyond the Brick guy, so I had to get a quick picture with him, and I'm happy I did. Over here I saw another Fallout mock. That's 2 Fallout mocks, 0 for Metal Gear Solid, and I kind of want to make a Metal Gear Solid mock myself, but that is again going to take a lot of work. It's not something I can get done by next year. And then over here it's another building where I was like, oh, this looks so familiar, and then I was like, oh, it's Azkaban from Harry Potter. And this was specifically from Order of the Phoenix, because that's when Bellatrix escapes. And over here was probably my favorite mock of the day. It's so simple, but it's the 2003 Clone Wars Battle of Munilist. Oh, that made me so happy to see it, because there's a lot of 2003 Clone Wars fans out there, because how can you not like that? Buildable stuff over here, really cool to see. There was these dragon swords I saw, which were nice. And then over here I actually saw this guy, and he was carrying my favorite Revenge of the Sith set, the Ultimate Lightsaber Duel. And I noticed it from the box number. I just wanted to make sure, and I talked to him really quick, and I was like, dude, you bought yourself a great set, because that is actually my favorite Revenge of the Sith set. All in all, it was just so nice talking to all these people that share the Lego hobby, man, because being an AFOL adult fan of Lego, it's super nice. Everybody you meet is super nice, you know, and especially at events like this where people show off their building skills. And right there is actually 2013 Gunship. First time ever seeing that in person. There was a good Endor mock there with the motorized ATST, and over here it's Ahsoka escaping on Coruscant, which a lot of those cylinder pieces in use there. Wow. And then over here, landing platform. So it's to get to the lower areas of Coruscant, and that was a Big Fig Zero the Hutt. And then over here was the biggest build, I guess second biggest if you want to count Orthanc. I'm not sure. You gotta put them side by side for me to actually decipher. But over here, it's just the space station. I'm pretty sure it's a medical station for Star Wars, because I saw a lot of Star Wars type minifigures in there, and this build was huge. I mean, you see it right now. It's taking up 8 tables. I mean, it was just massive seeing that in person. And you see me struggling to get footage of this mock over here, because again, it's just so many people walking, looking at everything. I couldn't believe how many people were there, even though I know it's a pretty big event. Like, it encourages me to build a mock, but it is an expensive and time-consuming process that I'm not sure I'm ready to do yet. And over here, it's an actual real-life castle from England. That's what the paper said. No, I didn't record the paper, but then this is just like, I mean, wow. Crazy to see this in person. Doomland, I guess that's what he's calling it. So after I looked at all the mocks, I decided to hit up some of the vendors there to see what they got going on. And I was specifically looking for some minifigures, not so much sets, because I plan on doing something here that you will see at the end of the video. But mainly here, I was just looking at some of the minifigures, see if I wanted to buy them. Nothing really stood out to me here, and most of these figures I do already own. Well, not most of them, but I mean, if there is a minifigure there that I do want, I most likely already have. But to be fair though, this was pretty good pricing compared to the Bricks and Minifigs pricings for some of these figures. These is actually pretty good. Like that Ice Planet figure there, they were selling for $8. All Bricks and Minifigs would have sold it like for 20 or 25. When I was here, nothing felt overpriced. I feel like people knew what they were selling, and it's also like we know what we're buying. We know how old some of this stuff is. We know how rare it is. We understand that it's discontinued, but at the same time, they want to give you a fair price as well. Oh, and that Lego Town Square set. I really wanted to buy that set, but I didn't have $800 on me. There's some custom minifigures here, and I actually ended up stopping the recording because there was a Sabrina Carpenter Sig fig that I wanted to buy. So I ended up buying that. And then there, seeing the 2005 Sandcrawler brought me so much joy. I wanted to walk out of here with that set, but I couldn't do it. I didn't have the money on me, and this was the prize jewel. This is my first time seeing the 2003 Cloud City set in person, and it changed me. You know, I've always seen it in the visual dictionary and online, but seeing this set in person made me see that it is not that big. I really did expect it to be bigger, but it's not that big. The only big chunk of it, I would say, is the actual landing pad, but I mean, the actual set itself, it's not that big. And then right there, seeing the 2008 Death Star crown jewel set. So one of the sets that I always wanted to buy, but never did because it is a $400 hunk of plastic. They were selling some panel pieces here, and this guy was picking out a lot of them. I only ended up getting an Infinity War one and a Episode 6 one. But now that I see it, there are a few Lord of the Rings ones that I should have bought, but I didn't see them at first. And that's what I told myself. I was like, if I don't go here, I'm just gonna end up buying like smaller stuff. I just want to get some like trinkets here and there. It's not, I can't go all out on a Lego set right now because of the plan that I have after this. Over here are some Star Wars minifigures. I saw an Instagram post 2 days after this. Somebody was charging $25 for the Phase 2 Captain Rex figure that came in the Y-Wing set. I don't know who, I'm pretty sure it was around this wall. I just couldn't find it. But I saw it 2 days after. I'm like, I really wish I found that to record because that is actually so hilarious to me. Beyond that is the Brick Arms vendors, which I was very excited for. I have bought a lot of Brick Arms items in the past. And over here, I saw these minifigures, COD Zombies characters, which I'm a big fan of. Been playing it since World at War came out, but I did end up buying 2 of them, and you will see which ones I did end up buying. Then a few more things here. I ended up finding the Sopranos custom figures, which I thought was hilarious, and I almost did end up buying them. And these custom figures from Boogie Nights, which is one of my favorite movies. Not the most appropriate movie in the world, but you know what? I do still enjoy watching it. So I ended up leaving Brickworld around like an hour and 10 minutes after I showed up there. There was just a lot of people, and for my first time there, I didn't want to spend too much time, but I did want to spend enough time to actually say, you know, I had a good time there, and I did. You know, I got there at 10:30 and I left around 11:40, 11:50. And before I went home, I had to stop at the Lego store really quick because there was one set I still wanted to buy. It's literally like 7 minutes away. Plus, there's also the Discovery Center right next to it, which I don't go to a lot because they do not stock up that Lego store as much as you'd think. So I walked through the mall, and honestly, I didn't even waste any time going to any of the stores like I normally would. I just went straight for the Lego store, and I had to go all the way to the back to get what I was looking for. That's right, I had my eyes finally set on the Great Deku Tree set. I've been wanting to get this set since it got released, since it got leaked. I was excited to get it. Didn't end up getting it on launch day though. I wanted to wait a little bit, and you know what? I figure, hey, since I didn't spend too much at Brickworld, I buy it right now. Huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I'm happy I did get it. This is everything I ended up purchasing. I got this display stand that I saw on eBay a while ago, and I figured while I'm here, I might as well get it right now. That's little display stand I just want to put some of my minifigures in. And the Sabrina Carpenter Sig Fig, as we found, I had to buy it. Brick Tactical minifigures. Sorry, not Brick Arms minifigures. I ended up buying. First one was the Tank Dempsey, favorite character from that crew, and then Misty as well. I had to get Misty because she is my favorite from that crew. From that transit crew. Victus, wanted to get her. I made a custom version of her, but you know, nothing beats a pad printed version. And then I got my first, and what will definitely not be my last, Brickworld. Brick, the 2 posters, I ended up getting, like I said, the Infinity War one and Return of the Jedi. They didn't have the Revenge of the Sith. I didn't want to get Revenge of the Sith considering that was my favorite Star Wars movie. Considering that is my favorite Star Wars movie, but Return of the Jedi is my second favorite, and at least they still had that. But the Infinity War one, replicating that Infinity Gauntlet #1 issue, when I saw that, I knew I had to get it. That's my experience with Brickworld Chicago 2025, and that officially concludes my first video on this channel, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around, and please subscribe because I have a lot more content and a lot more thoughts to share with you guys regarding me as a Lego YouTuber. And I've been collecting this since I was 4, so I've been around for a while. I just haven't gotten to uploading on YouTube until now. But rest assured, I will be trying to make content as often as possible, and if you guys subscribe, I guarantee you will not regret it. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked my experience at Brickworld Chicago, and I will see you guys in whatever video I come up with next. Goodbye.